Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, June 7th, 2024. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. And before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. And if you're interested in this type of content every day, then definitely check out the Premium Consulting membership, only $15 a month. So definitely check that out. Now, right now, the tropics, quiet. That's the way we like it, right? Very quiet for the start of June, with the intertropical convergence zone starting to push northward as it normally does this time of year, but no sign of any type of tropical waves or anything organizing. This out here is associated with a cold front and a cold core low pressure system, so not any form of any type of tropical development at this time. Looks pretty quiet out there. Now, when we take a look at the pattern overall, as we've been talking about, La Nina's gradually taking hold. There's been some change in the model guidance. The European guidance came out, the monthly and the seasonal, and it shifted more towards a very weak La Nina to possibly even a neutral state. Now, these climate models, they can sometimes swing from one extreme to the other, and you need to be careful not to jump onto every little solution that comes out and take that into account what else is going on in the atmosphere and also what's going on in the subsurface in the Pacific. I like the idea of a weak La Nina. That has been the basis of the seasonal forecast for the summer and for the tropical weather pattern. And the tropical forecast really focused on, you combine a La Nina state, which means you have a weaker subtropical jet stream, and you combine that with the very warm waters in the Atlantic, and yeah, you got a pretty good potential of having an above normal season. But this is why I also stayed away from some of the more outlandish forecasts out there, 24, 25 storms, stuff like that. I tried to stay away from that. But I think 19, 20 storms this year is a pretty good ballpark, pretty reasonable, considering the conditions that we're seeing. Now, I mention all that because the pattern is in a state of change. And the summer forecast that we put out in mid-May basically suggested that early June would feature a cool weather pattern because we're still dealing with the remnants of El Nino and the negative QBO signal that was in place. So it's kind of like an echo. That echo is fading, but it's not going to give up without a fight. So we have this upper level low that's passing through our region. That's going to keep us unsettled. We'll talk about more about that in a moment. But you can see over the next 10 days, as we head towards the middle of the month, a gradual change. And where those changes are taking place, again, usually this doesn't take place with a switch, but more of a gradual evolution, and especially during the summer months. And that gradual evolution is this ridge right here starting to get itself organized. But also look at the broader polar jet stream with more of a focus towards the trough over the Pacific Northwest and a broader ridge over much of the eastern two-thirds of the country. And then you get this weakness here. Now, when we take a look at the ensemble guidance, basically the same type of idea. Now look at this evolution take shape. While the two ridges intensify, this is typical when you have two ridges, you're going to have an area of weakness. So right now, as you move through June, you end up with this weakness off the coast here, which is great news for June because anything that tries to develop out here is just going to get kicked right out in the Atlantic. Not so great if you're in the Gulf Coast because anything that develops out here could also just keep on moving west towards the Gulf Coast. So we're going to have to watch out for that. But look at the overall evolution here that we're seeing. And you're seeing the support of the Western Atlantic Ridge getting stronger. Support of the ridge here over the southern tier getting stronger. Why? Because we're gaining La Nina and the subtropical jet stream is far weaker. And so your polar jet stream is the dominant jet stream here. And it's basically running almost zonal from the northern Rockies right into the Canadian Maritime. So when you have this type of setup, you start to build heat throughout the eastern two-thirds of the country. And so we're starting to see that evolution take place for the second half of June. So enjoy the comfortable weather while you can. This morning, not too bad at all. Cold fronts off the coast, one of many, but this was the strongest one, with temperatures throughout the region ranging from the mid to upper 60s on your northern interior locations, your higher elevations, generally lower to mid 70s along the coast. The dew points notice are lower in the 50s and 60s, and that's really important because that means we have lower humidity. Now, right now, as you can see on our weather tap radar and surface map, not much going on. All your precipitation, what's left of it, is focused up here towards the Great Lakes and up towards northern New England. And that's generally going to be the theme through this weekend. When you take a look at the satellite pictures, first of all, the visible satellite pictures showing plenty of clear skies, but also a mix of sun and clouds as well. We got a lot of mid-level clouds here. Low-level clouds breaking up, as they often do during the morning hours. But you can see that we have this constant westerly flow taking shape here. And when we zoom out and take a look at the infrared satellite picture, I think you can see our little upper level low. Notice I like using each satellite picture as a tool, right, for what I am trying to look for. When I'm looking at the infrared satellite picture, what I want to do is look for areas of lifting, right? And we know that via the cold cloud top. So we're seeing that out here, but not really seeing that all that much here. But notice up here, we're seeing a little bit of colder cloud top. So what does this tell me? This tells me the upper level low is going to be spinning up here. It's going to be sending short waves, but these short waves are weak. So very weak, very spread out, little short waves rotating through here. Probably get a little bit more colder cloud tops, a little bit more lifting as the sun heats up the lower portions of the atmosphere, creating instability. But I'm not seeing anything that's really robust. And oh, by the way, you pretty much have clear skies going all the way back into the plains here. So again, no major storms. So essentially, you're dealing with this pesky little upper level low. And this is the water vapor satellite picture. This gives me a better definition of the upper level features I'm looking at, the rising and sinking air. When you see this color here, this is yellow and orange. That means you have sinking air in place. When you start to see more of a haze and these green colors out here, that's when you start to have lifting and lifting of moisture. So you can see the deep moisture. So this tells me that aloft I have dry air. I have low-level moisture naturally, because look, it is summer. You're still going to have some residual low-level moisture. And you have this upper level low, but these little weak short waves passing through. And you can see that very nicely here on the upper level winds, right? Where you have this stretched out upper level low starting to break out and getting ready. And you have this other upper level low here. So you have a lot of little weak short waves, a lot of instability. You have drier, colder air aloft, and you have some warmer air at the surface. Pretty much near normal for this time of year. Nothing that is extreme one way or the other. So this all tells me that when we take a look at the weather pattern through the weekend and into early next week, that we're essentially dealing with one very pesky upper level low, sending a series of these little weak short waves that at the surface will appear as either troughs or very weak cold fronts moving through. And at 850 millibars, you basically get this modified polar Pacific air. We're not dealing with a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, as we can see with the precipitable water values. So all of this points to me that you're going to see a lot of locations with just a mix of sun and clouds. And you have to be aware of a pop-up shower or even an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon hours. I think the best chance for an isolated thunderstorm, quite frankly, is going to be closer to where this upper level low is as it's moving through. So talking about the Poconos, Catskills, Hudson River Valley, northern Connecticut. But I can't rule it out completely for the coastal plains. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you start to see clouds increasing, that's probably when we're going to start to see a few pesky showers and thunderstorms. And as we move forward with this pattern, again, I don't see any major storms here. Remember, a couple of days ago, the model guys were trying to suggest a coastal storm, and I didn't buy it because the rest of the pattern doesn't support it. Well, guess what? It's pretty much disappeared. And so what we have here is a pattern in transition. And you're going to see a gradual shift. We're going to remain cool into next week. But towards the end of next week and into next weekend, we're going to start to get more and more influences from heat building up over portions of the Tennessee River Valley and Gulf Coast and trying to invade our neck of the woods. We're still going to have to deal with these cold fronts, and that could lead to some severe thunderstorms for next weekend. But I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself here. But something just to keep an eye on. But we're gradually shifting. So if you're wondering, hey, where is all my heat and humidity? I want to spend all day at the beach and feel nice and toasty and humid for whatever reason. Not my cup of tea. I personally like winter months. But if you do like the heat and humidity, have a little patience. The second half of this month and pretty much the rest of the summer, you should be very happy. While the rest of us who are sane are going to stay in the AC as best as possible, or in the pool, whichever. So let's dive into this forecast for today. Mix of sun and clouds, an isolated shower or thunderstorm will be possible in the afternoon hours. And generally through this forecast, the best potential for showers and thunderstorms will be between the 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. hour. Temperatures will range from the lower to mid 70s over the northern interior, upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast. For tonight into tomorrow morning, look for scattered cloud cover with low temperatures in the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s along the coast. Tomorrow afternoon, mix of sun and clouds, an isolated shower or thunderstorm is a threat. Look for high temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast. For Sunday, another cold front swings on through with a few isolated showers. This looks a little bit overdone. I was taking a look at some of the mesoscale guidance here, and it was nowhere near as robust. So again, mix of sun and clouds, a few isolated showers or thunderstorms. So low temperatures ranging from the upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 50s along the coast. High temperatures ranging from the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior and higher elevations, mid to upper 70s along the coast, and mid 70s to lower 80s in the Delaware River Valley. On Monday, another little weak trough passes through, mix of sun and clouds, a few isolated showers. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 50s along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid 70s over the northern interior, upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast. On Tuesday, high pressure tries to build in, but we also have a trough along the coast, so going to continue on with the mix of sun and clouds and an isolated shower, but I think those showers are going to be even more isolated. Look for low temperatures ranging from the upper 50s to lower 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid 70s throughout the region. On Wednesday, high pressure will pass on through with scattered cloud covers. Could still be a lingering isolated shower around Connecticut and Long Island, but other than that, pretty quiet with low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s along the coast. High temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 70s over the northern interior, upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast, and lower to mid 80s in the Delaware River Valley. On Thursday, high pressure pushes off the coast. We get more of a southwesterly flow. Could be a little bit of morning fog and then scattered cloud cover in the afternoon with an increase in humidity. Look for low temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the northern interior and lower to mid 60s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 70s over the northern interior and along the coast. Lower to mid 80s in the Delaware River Valley. And on Friday, a cold front will attempt to move through the region with scattered to broken cloud cover and a few widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Look for low temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s. High temperatures, if we get enough sunshine, temperatures could really spike here out ahead of this cold front, with temperatures ranging from the mid 70s to lower 80s on Long Island, lower to mid 80s on the immediate coast, upper 80s to lower 90s in the Delaware River Valley, especially around Philadelphia and points south, and mid to upper 80s in the northern interior. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful weekend, and as always, stay safe out there.